Welcome back to our discussion of the book, The Ministry of the Unveiled Face. My name is Janet Victor. I'm the author of the book. And this short video will be a lead-in to your small group discussion of Chapter 2, which is entitled, Let Me Introduce You to a Friend of Mine. It is a social norm for us to often introduce one of our friends to another friend. And we do so because we know that friendship will grow and deepen, that the two parties involved in the friendship will build each other up, speak into each other's lives, and bless each other tremendously. And so the focus of this chapter is, if we are able to introduce one human friend to another human friend, why do we not introduce our human friends to the best friend of all, Jesus Christ? You may find it perhaps a little awkward or even a callous approach to consider Jesus, divine Lord of Lords, Prince of Peace, King of Kings, our sovereign Lord, as a friend. But Jesus calls us his friends. And he does so because he knows our redemption, our transformation, our salvation, everything that's good for us lies in our relationship with Christ. And we have to be able to trust him as someone who will always be with us, someone who knows us to the depths of our being, and a good friend, as well as a companion. So it's not a callous thing at all. I do believe it is a precious intimacy that Jesus calls us to. And it gets me through life, I'll tell you that much. The anchor verse to this chapter is Proverbs 18:24. A man who has friends must himself be friendly, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother, and that friend is Jesus Christ. So in this chapter, you'll find a few more stories. It's a little more narrative than some of the other chapters. First of all, I tell you about my own moment in life when I was 12 years old and I gave my heart to Jesus and he became my very best friend. So that little story is in here, as well as some other anecdotes from my life when I have had the honor of being able to share Christ's goodness with others in varying ways. So I hope you will be blessed by those short little anecdotes from my personal life. And I also invite you to share any of your stories with me as well. Share them with your group for sure. But you're always welcome to reach out to me via my website, which is listed in the book, and share anything that's on your heart. One thing I wanted to talk about before I close or leave you to the study is that I want to clear up any possible misconception about there being an element of self-righteousness in us seeing ourselves as this beautiful, radiant, unveiled face. That is not at all the intent. Our face is unveiled because we see the beauty and radiance of Christ, and we see the goodness of Christ that can only be seen by having a relationship and a friendship with him. That's the only way we can enter into the spiritual realm. It is not in the least saying, oh, well, my face is unveiled, yours is not. That's not it at all, and I would just want to make that point very, very clear. It is a transformation process for all of us. Paul himself, when he talks about this, talks about us being changed from one degree of glory to another. We are all in that process where Christ is transforming us and conforming us to his image and teaching us to love and act in his name in our human relations with others. So that's what this chapter is all about as well. Do we always get it right? No. Do we get nervous about thinking and about the possibility of sharing Christ with others? Absolutely we do. We can kind of spin our wheels and boggle our minds with fears and what am I going to say? How is this going to play out? We can imagine all kinds of things. But I do want to assure you, Christ is our friend too, and he has grace for every time we feel like we fall short. His presence is in us. We'll talk about that further in chapter 3. So we can leave the work to the Holy Spirit. We just respond to God's prompting in love of our friends. So there's a simplicity in that. There's a simplicity in when a friend is struggling and speaking a word of comfort or truth from the Bible to that friend. There's an honor of praying diligently for our friends to know Christ. And certainly within our own friendships, we work to serve compassionately for whatever they might need help with. So those are all aspects of friendship that we have with Christ and we have with our friends that we want to introduce Christ to. The other thing I just wanted to talk about is the prayer at the end of the chapter. I'd mentioned there is a prayer at the end of every chapter. You can reword it however you want, bring in your own scriptures, but this helps just give you a shell or an example to guide your prayers for those God lays on your heart. So I do encourage you to take the time to utter these prayers for the people, the loved ones in your life that you'll be ministering to. So I will see you next time when we're discussing chapter 3. God bless you. Have a wonderful study. May you know the heart of Christ that is so deeply in love with you, that is so devoted to you, and may that same compassion fill your heart for your friends and loved ones. Bye now.